Welcome back. Now on page 283 it says the book rep table should be selected. So double check just to make sure that it is. And then we want to click on create. So we're going to create a form in design view. So we are going to go to forms and then we want to choose form design button. So we go to create form design and notice that this looks very different from what you have used before, and this is all the stuff that's back there behind what is normally done for you. Now everything we pull over here, it automatically, it looks great. It's not as scary as it seems. You have total control here, so I kind of like that since I like to control everything. And the first thing we need to do is go over here to add existing fields. So click on that and it gives us a field list. Now we get to choose show all tables, and notice that we have two tables to choose from. In this case they want us to use the book rep table, so we click on book rep table on the expand. So remember, the minus collapses, the plus sign expands. We have the list of all of our fields right here. Then first thing it says is to drag the book rep number field, and we're going to drag it in approximately over to here. Now wherever we put things, we will be able to fix it later if you don't like it. So it doesn't have to be exactly perfect right now, but notice I'm pointing at the 3 mark, and notice that this is the book rep number control and this is the book rep number title. Alright, this actually is a functioning thing, and if we were going to, the control is where you do the work, and this is just a label. All it is a label. Alright, so the first thing we want to do then, it says to go ahead and save it. Well, that was quick and easy, wasn't it? And we're going to call it book rep master form, and then say, oh, we need a capital there, and say OK. And notice that the form name shows up on the tab just like normal. And then it says we're going to add controls for additional fields. And if you look at the bottom right hand corner of page 285, we're going to drag across first name. So first name, and it looks like the control is dropped on 2-ish, about here-ish. And I'm going to move mine up a little bit just so it's as close to the book as possible. And with that being said, a lot of times we have to go back and fix it because you want to make sure all the fields show and all the information in the field shows also. Phone number looks like it's going down here-ish. Let's say about there. Alright. And I missed last name, so let's grab last name, and it looks like it's going like about here-ish. In a minute we're going to align everything so it doesn't have to be perfectly aligned. So all of those of you who like stuff perfectly aligned like I do, this will drive me crazy if it stayed this way, but the computer can fix it for you, so there's no sense stressing out right now. Alrighty then. So phone number, then we'll do salary. So come down here to salary, and it looks like the control for salary is dropped about here-ish, and I'm going to go ahead and move it up a little bit. And then bonus rate, so I'm going to drag that over here, and we're going to kind of line that up with salary-ish and with last name-ish. Remember, don't get too stressed about it because the computer will do it for you, and I'm probably doing too much myself. Notice that sales goal has this box right here, and that it goes over more, and And I realize I'm probably spending more time, just like I told you not to do. It's hard to stop myself. And start date also needs to go in there. So where is our start date? There we go. Start date, and that'll line up with bonus rate. All right. So we're going to go with that. These are approximate positions. It's never totally done unless you lock it. And even then, you'll still have the password and you can change it. All right. So now it says, click the first name control. Now, remember these white boxes? These are the controls. These things where it just has text in it and you can still see the dotted space behind it. Those are just labels. So we're going to click in the control of first name. Notice that it put an orange box around first name and that also the label to that was selected. Now, check this out. If I had clicked in just the label, we would have the orange box around the label and not the control. So let's make sure that the orange box is around the label, and as you move them, they move together unless you intentionally grab just a section and then just that one piece will move. Alrighty then. So now it says hold the shift key down and select last name control and phone number control. Okay. Now we want to go to the Arrange tab. So in Form Design Tools, click on Arrange. Alrighty. And now there is this nifty cool, see all these things? We're going to use these to make things look really nice. Right now we're going to choose the Align button. And right now we are going to choose left. So we're going to line them all up left so that right now the controls is which is what we care about right now. Those are aligned left. So the left side of the box, all of them will start exactly the same place. And so that makes all us OCD people really happy. So using the same technique on page 287, the second bullet and number 3 says, to select the control for salary, hold down the shift, bonus rate, and start date. We will also align those to the left. So Arrange tab, Align, click on the down arrow and choose left. Pretty nice. Now it wants us to select the label name, so we're going to align the controls on the top and adjust the vertical spacing. So we're working up here, and we can go ahead and close this if it's getting out in your way. Totally your call on that. And so says this time select the label. So this would be the label, right? A first name. Oh, lied. First name control. Read the whole line and hold the shift key down, and we're going to choose the salary control also. Okay. And then we want to go to the Align button, Arrange, and Align. And this time we are going to choose Align to top. So that's going to make the top of these perfectly straight. Excellent. And then we're going to do the same thing we'll click on last name control and shift the bonus rate control, go to Align. And this time we're going to align these top two. So it's aligning the tops of these together. Okay. And then it wants us to do the phone number control and the start date control. And this time we are going to align top for those two. Alrighty then. Alright, so those are now all aligned top and left. So that's going to look good. Now, the next thing is going to bother us is if they aren't spaced equally. Alright, so that's important. So if you'll says click on the outside, so we deselect everything and then select the first name, last name. So all of them except for book rep number and sales goal. And it wants us to go to the Arrange tab again, and we're going to choose the size and space button. Remember, that was the other one I was showing you. And we want to do equal vertical, so we'll slide down to spacing and choose equal vertical, so that they're all spaced vertically exactly the same amount. Excellent. Then on page 289 it says to add controls for the remaining fields. Now if you closed yours like I did mine, then you can click on the field list, and it says drag the control for the comment field. So here is our comment, and it wants us to put it to the right. Now notice right now we're not showing anything out here, but when you move it to the right, it will add more page for you. So we're going to click on comment, and we are dragging it to about 6.5. And notice in the book, it's going to end up a little bit on top of the label's going to end up on top of salary. That's okay, because we can move that label by clicking on the gray box, and then the label moves by itself. Okay, so the trick is to click on that gray top left-hand handle to move it without it moving the box also. Now, let us see here. So theirs is about at 6.25. So I think I'm going to move mine in a little bit. And also I like seeing my corner edge here. Now it wants us to do the same thing with the picture. So we'll grab the picture, and we will try to line it about here-ish under the comment. And notice that the picture label ended up over here. So we're going to grab the gray handle, and that will allow us to move it alone. And voila, right over our picture box. Now we're going to click on the control for picture, which mine was already selected, but we'll do it again. And we're going to drag the lower right hand corner because we need it to be big enough to show our entire picture. So we're going to grab the sizing handle, the bottom right hand side, and move it down a couple, 1, 2, how about something like that-ish. Okay, notice it can go in or out like that, and the whole shift key trick doesn't really work because you're just resizing it. And once we start putting pictures in, we can make it bigger and smaller according to the picture also. So we're going to say that's it-ish. All right. Then it says add the control for the customer notes field. So here's our customer notes, and we're going to grab this, and that is going to go approximately here-ish. Awesome. And you're going to grab the label and move it up here. Okay, and notice that it does wrap a little bit. That's okay. Pretty much it's going to show a paper clip, and it depends on what you put in there. Alright, so now it says close the field list, and you can click on the X here, or you can click on the add existing fields. Either way, it closes it. And then it wants us to right click our pointer to the right of our BR code. And it really doesn't matter as long as it's in the form and not on a field or a control. Alright, so right click in the blank form area, and we're going to fill our form. So it's very important on what you click on. So fill, back arrow. Notice it says back. This is important. Fill, back arrow, and it wants us to use the gray color on the third row, first column. So we click here, and notice our whole form is that gray color now. Now it wants us to add a title. So we're going to go to our design tool. So here we are in design, and if you look over here in header footer, we have a title. So we click in title. Now Notice that it has inserted a form header section. You can move stuff around in the form header section, but to grab stuff and drag it up there, you can't cross a border. Notice that we also now have a form footer section. All right, so we have a title, and we want to book rip master form is what we want. So that's awesome. On page 292, it says to select the More button. So that is this button here. And you want to make sure that Use Control Wizards is selected. If you click on it and it's already selected, it will deselect it. So make sure you click on it. Let me show you what it looks like. Notice it has a red box around it. That means it is selected. If it is not selected, you can still choose this, but it's not going to do what you want it to do. It'll do something else. So when you click in here with this, we're going to choose sub-report. I'm going to show you what it's supposed to do. Use Control Wizards is selected, and Subform Sub-report. Make sure it's got an orange red square around it. All right, just making sure. Subform Sub-report is what you're going to click on, so we'll click on that. And we'll slide down here, and then where we click is where the form is going to be. Now, if yours did not open up the Subform Wizard, that means that you didn't have the wizard button selected, or you chose the wrong form. So make sure, if you didn't get this, go ahead and stop it and make sure that you have the wizard selected. I'm just saying, too many people have freaked out over this one, and it's really not that big of a deal. All right, so no sense having stress without a need. So no sense stressing even if you need to stress. All right, so just saying. Page 293 then, it says make sure that this Subform Wizard is checked Use Existing Tables and Queries. So we're using something that we're using a table or query, not a form. Now you could use either, but we're choosing tables or queries. Then we choose Next. And the table we want to use is the customer table. So click on the down arrow and choose customer. And the fields we want to use is customer number, customer name, and amount paid. Then current due, and so double check yours: customer number, customer name, amount paid, and current due. That's all going to show up within this form for each individual book rep. Kind of cool. So do Next, and it says choose from a list, so that should be selected. And we're going to do show customer for each record in SQL statement, and y'all are going to learn how to do SQL, but right now this is doing it for you using book rep number. Alrighty then, and we're going to say, and look, it also shows it here, Next, and we are going to name this customers of book rep. So customers of book rep, and that is on page 294, and then hit finish. All right, now notice that our label says customers of book rep, and that our control is an entire form. Notice that you can resize this form. Notice that it has a form within a form. See form header. We have the detail, just like here, form header, detail, form footer. Awesome. It's all within here. So I'm telling you now, when you look at your forms where you can actually see the information, if I can't see the entire customer name, for example, or the entire customer number, or whatever needs to be seen, if it's chopped off, I will count points off. So make sure you look at it to see what it's going to look like before you turn it in or submit it to me. All right, so it says if necessary, move the subform control so that it does not overlap any other controls. So fortunately mine did not, but if yours is overlapping something, go ahead and fix that now. Now, remember I made a big deal about viewing. So we're going to go to the view button up here in the top left and click, and voila, that's what our form looks like right now. Notice that we have this big space here. And also see it shows us that we have a Word document attached. That's excellent. Notice that amount paid is clear over here. So I'm thinking that we could resize some of these. What do you think? You know, don't need that much space. All right, just saying. But we're not going to show you how to do that just yet. In the book it says save, so we're going to hit save. But isn't that cool? You made that. And close the book rep master form. So we're going to close that. And according to the book, this is a great time for a break. See ya in a bit.